Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me and who are wondering why this lady is giving out advice, let me introduce myself. My name is Vanya and I run the hip hop blog IStillLoveHERdotde as well as the IStillLoveHER promotion agency. I've been doing this for the past 7 years and, as you can imagine, have gathered a lot of knowledge on the subject. In my last video, I talked about promoting your music on social media. If you haven't seen that one, you can find the link in the description of this video. Like I promised last time, today I'm going to tell you the do's and don'ts of submitting your music to blogs. As an artist in today's music industry, I'm sure you know how important it is for your music to be seen and heard on as many blogs as possible. For one, it brings your music to an audience you couldn't reach on your own, and also it builds your online presence. The more your name is out there, the better. Obviously, the most effective route is to hire a promotion agency or publicist to get your music into the right hands, but I do understand that not everyone has the budget to do that, so you might have to send your music out yourself. So let's get right into these tips. To me personally, the number one thing is looking professional. There are several things you should pay attention to when trying to make your submission look as professional as possible. Starting with the subject line. Please refrain from using lines like, "This is the hottest track of the year, must listen," or worse, leaving the subject line blank. It's best to keep it simple, something like blog submission, artist name, and release title. Personally, I'm not a fan of caps. I always take it as the person yelling at me, and I don't like to be yelled at in my own inbox. Another way to make sure you look professional, and this is probably one of the most important tips I'm going to give you tonight, is to always use blind copy when sending your email to several blogs at once. It sounds like common knowledge, but still to this day I receive several emails every week where this has not been done correctly. In case you don't know, when one doesn't use blind copy to address several recipients at once, this results in each recipient seeing the complete list of email addresses you are sending your submission to. It's an absolute no-go. For one, obviously the blogs don't want their email addresses exposed that way to end up on a bunch of mailing lists, and also it just makes us feel a little less special seeing that you sent your email to 500 other people. Speaking of the recipients you're writing to, do your research in advance. Try to only submit to blogs that post the kind of music you make. It obviously doesn't make much sense for you to send your music to a techno blog if you're a hip-hop artist. And if you want to go even deeper than that, check for sub-genres as well. Me, for example, I mainly post underground hip-hop on my blog. A lot of it is very mellow. I'm not really into the party-type rap, trap, or anything that promotes violence. So, if you can, check out the blogs before you send to them and try to cater to those that actually have an interest in the kind of music you make. While we are on the subject of checking out the blogs, here's something that has happened in my inbox quite often as well. I get an email that opens up with lines such as, "Hey, I'm on your blog all the time, I really love it, it's my favorite blog," etc. You get the picture. Now that's totally fine, but when you say something like that and at the same time have 500 other recipients in the email, it makes me question your sincerity. Just like when you say something along those lines and then your music sounds like nothing you would ever hear on my blog. Flattery is fine, and I always appreciate people showing love, but I'd rather get none if it's not real. It's also best to keep it professional in how you're addressing bloggers. It's okay to be casual. This is the hip-hop business after all. But refrain from saying things like, "Hey bro," or "What's up man," especially if you don't know if the person you're writing to is a man or woman. Keep it gender neutral. I know it is believed that there are mostly men in this business, but you would be surprised by how many great women are running influential blogs, and We would like to not be addressed as bro. Also, please don't try to flirt with us while presenting your music to us. Of course, I can only speak for myself, but I don't know of any time that has ever worked. Alright, let's move on to the actual content of your email. Make sure that all the important info is provided, such as streaming links, your website link, and social media, and enough info about whatever it is you want them to post. It's best to include a well-written write-up about your release, one that blogs can post along with your music in case they don't write their own. Please don't send attached audio files unless we specifically ask for it, as it clogs our inboxes and we can't really do anything with them. What works best for most bloggers, besides video links, are streams and downloads via SoundCloud, Bandcamp, or AudioMac. It's important that your music links have a streaming option so that we can embed them directly into our blogs. There's one site that I don't recommend just because the layout is not that great, and that's DatPiff. It's great if you include your artwork and an artist picture if they are of good quality. Okay, now before you send off your email submission, make sure that all of your links are working, because I've ran into the issues of links being down or going to the wrong address like quite a few times. Overall, try to keep your email to the essentials. Don't make it too long to where we have to search for a long time to get to the important stuff, such as your music links. Once you've sent off your email submission, it's time to cross your fingers and wait it out. Some blogs might get back to you the same day. Some may take a couple of weeks depending on the workload. Some may never get back to you at all, even if they post your music. So it's best to follow them on their social media and have a look out for your releases, or go on Google, do a quick search. If you must send a follow-up email, don't send it too quickly. Wait at least a week and leave it at one follow-up. There's no point in annoying anyone with multiple emails. If they still don't get back to you, they probably weren't feeling your music, or they are simply too busy, which happens a lot. When a blog does post your music, make sure you share the links via your own social networks, and it's always appreciated if you express your gratitude. That way they are more likely to remember your name for the next time you submit something. So, I know this was probably a lot to take in. I hope you took notes, and I hope the next email submissions I receive will follow these guidelines. You can find my email address in the video description. I will be back soon with more tips on how to get your music out there. Hit me up in the comments with any questions or feedback. Share the video with someone who needs it. If you do have the budget, hit me up for promotion. And I wish you much success with your next submission email. Have a good night. I'm out. Peace.